Avatar: The Last Airbender was one of the most iconic TV series of all time. Its combination of humor, action, and plot resonated with the viewers so much that 10 years later, the TV show is still being talked about. In fact, the sequel to the series, The Legend of Korra, is equally entertaining and has some iconic moments as well. But what really struck me was how memorable both series were and the level of attention and detail that the creators put into it. From The Last Airbender to The Legend of Korra, here are our top 5 clever ideas in the Avatar universe. One of the most loved characters of the show, Toph Beifong, really elevated the show from good to awesome. Arguably the greatest earthbender of all time, Toph had many skills she developed and even created herself, like metal bending. One of her specialized, self-taught skills was being able to tell if people were lying. She did this by using her seismic ability to gauge a person's heartbeat. The creators utilized this ability in one of the first major deaths on screen, Jet, leader of the Freedom Fighters. During the battle underneath Lake Laogai, Jet retaliated against Long Fang's brainwashing, but ended up getting hit with a strong earthbending blow to the chest, ending his life. The creators cleverly confirmed Jet's death by implicitly adding in a part where Jet tells Team Avatar that he would be fine, but then revealed false by Toph, telling everyone he was lying, using her truth-telling ability. Having a primarily child audience, the creators probably didn't want to show an explicit death, so they implied it cleverly through Toph's ability.
One of the darkest and saddest deaths in the Avatar universe was the murder-suicide of Tarlock and Noatak. Noatak, also known as Amon, and his brother Tarlock were sons of the most notorious outlaw from Republic City, Yakone, who used his bloodbending to commit crimes. Following their father, Noatak and Tarlock both took rules to seize more power in Republic City. After Noatak, or Amon's, exposure as a waterbender by the Avatar, they both set sail to leave Republic City, with Tarlock subsequently electrocuting and exploding the boat they were in. Before the explosion, Noatak tells his brother, "It will be just like the good old days," while Tarlock reaches for the glove to electrocute the boat. Noatak sheds a noticeable tear on his face, showing that he was upset because he knew what was about to happen. He actually realizes what Tarlock is about to do because of his ability to bloodbend, which means he could sense Tarlock about to place his glove in the boat's fuel tank as he accepts their fate. This further shows that Noatak could have stopped his brother, but he didn't because he knew it was the only way to stop the cycle of violence that their father had set them up with. Zuko's redemption arc. Now back to The Last Airbender. At the end of the episode of The Day of the Black Sun Part 2, Zuko, a character with one of the greatest developments in all of television history, officially switched sides to Team Avatar and confronted his evil father, Fire Lord Ozai. In the dramatic scene in the Fire Nation Palace, he confronts Ozai for his terrible parenting and immoral plans, but unlike other times, Ozai has no choice but to listen because he is powerless during the eclipse. Zuko eventually reveals his plans to help the Avatar learn firebending and stop Ozai from conquering the Earth Kingdom. But luring Zuko in about having information of his mother, the moment Ozai regains his power, he attempts to strike Zuko with lightning. But Zuko counters with lightning redirection, and he escapes. What was interesting about this scene was that Zuko could have easily killed his father at this moment. You see, lightning redirection allows you to redirect lightning anywhere you want. But Zuko had full control of the lightning, and instead of killing his father, he aims the lightning just below Ozai's feet to trigger an explosion. What's clever is that it was all done in a few seconds. Such a moment really captures Zuko's firebending growth, as he is able to control the lightning with such agility and focus. He knows that it was the Avatar's destiny to destroy the Fire Lord, not his, and he does enough just to send a warning to his father without hurting him. Since Season 1 of The Legend of Korra, fans were always wondering how Lin Beifong, daughter of Toph, received the scars on her face. Usually portrayed as a grumpy woman, not much was known about Lin Beifong for the first 2 seasons. However, it was finally revealed that Lin had a half-sister named Su Yin, founder of Jiaofu, a metal empire in the Earth Nation. Lin and Su Yin had grown apart for 30 years, and a flashback in Korra reveals to us that the 2 sisters often quarreled when they were younger. Lin, being the older sister, always tried to follow a path of discipline and righteousness, while Su Yin developed an independent and rebellious mindset, often engaging in unlawful acts. The problems between the two climax in a scene where Suyin attempts to avoid arrest from theft, and when Lin tries to use her metal cables to grab hold of Suyin, Suyin cuts the cables, which slashes onto Lin's face and gives her permanent scars for life. This scene was when we finally got to learn how Lin got her scars. Personally, I believe that the scars have a deeper meaning behind them. The same year that Lin receives those scars is actually the last time that Lin sees Suyin for 30 years before they become reunited. Though they become distant, the scars never leave Lin's face, representing a scar from Lin's past life before separating from Suyin. Even though the two eventually make up, the scar further symbolizes how Lin continues to carry a chip on her shoulder after what Suyin did to her.
In the season 3 finale of Legend of Korra, Korra comes face to face with the main villain Zaheer. In the villain's final defeat after poisoning Korra, we see the airbenders pulling in Zaheer from flying away and taking a defenseless Korra. With Korra and Zaheer being pulled into the ground, the main villain loses Korra's grip. Losing Korra, Zaheer decides to escape. However, Korra, going into the Avatar state, uses the chain connected to her arm to bring down her foe by throwing it, attaching it to his leg, and finally tossing him down to the floor. The creators cleverly added this to symbolize Zaheer's final defeat, where in a world he wanted to live free without chains, but in the end he was brought down by the same metal chains he built himself to imprison the Avatar.